Okay, well it's time to show the Norton a little bit of love. It's got a few issues that we need to, just nothing major, just a few little bits we need to sort out. It is again becoming increasingly more porous. It's getting rather oily in places. Oh, flipping out. You're right there, threw you on the floor. Whew. Okay, right. I'll try not to throw the camera anymore. The leaking base gasket looks a lot worse than it is because there's a lot of oil coming out around the rockers and just running down the studs. I'm quite sure that is just a light weep in that corner. It normally is. But yeah, we've got oil coming down there. It's actually starting to drip oil. I'll not find it. No, it's trying to prove me a lie. But off the bottom of the carburetor because it's tracking along here and down. Primary isn't leaking, which leads me to believe it's empty. We're struck. I think the battery's on its way out. It's not holding a charge while it's parked. We'll check for parasitic drain and bits, but I'm quite sure it's just a duff battery. What else do we need to do? It needs a bloody good clean, because although the weather's been rather nice these last few weeks, the couple of times we have had a tiny bit of rain, it's happened while I've been riding it. So yeah, it's getting somewhat grubby. What else is there? There's a list, but I've forgotten it. It'll come to me. Oh, it's about time we did change that back tyre. It is actually, yeah, it is completely knackered. It's still got a legal amount of tread on it, just, but it's knackered. I've got a brand new one sat down here. So yeah, we'll pop that on. I'm sure there was something else. Did I tell you about the brake light? Yeah, maybe not. Yeah, the brake light. Noticed it the other day. Now I've got the little voltmeter on there. Going down a bumpy road, my voltages were all over the place. I'm thinking, oh, flipping out, what's going on here? And it pretty much repeated the same thing every time I went down this road. I'm thinking, right, we've got something loose somewhere. You know, we've got a bare wire in the headlight, maybe a break in the loom, or is one of my cheap, nasty Chinese red wrecks starting to play up and not liking all the vibration. And then I hooked my foot under the brake pedal and lifted it up, and all the voltage went back to normal. So yeah, the brake light switch has been a pain. I don't think it's shorting at all or anything like that. I think it is just springing on and off. Now the obvious solution would just be to move that switch forward, because there is still a little bit of travel in there. Unfortunately, the way it's mounted, it won't come any further forward. I've tried bending that little tab back a little bit, but to no avail really. So yeah, there's that to do. I'm sure there's something else. There'll be several things. Cable ties are still working on the coil. It should really do something with that at some point as well. And the tank keeps coming loose. It's a pain. Yeah, strap's a little bit loose at the minute. It's not too bad. Nothing wrong with the strap, nothing wrong with the threads. It's the rubber that sits here-ish, or is meant to sit here, is currently here. It's done it a couple of times now. Should just stuck with the blue towel really, shouldn't I? That stayed where I put it. And yeah, as you ride along, it gradually works its way forward and ends up butting up to the forward rubber. So yeah, we'll have to do something with that. Yeah, and just general bits and bobs, I think. There's going to be something I've forgotten. We are getting more and more false neutrals, unfortunately. It'll be the little bushes on the end of the selectors. They've yeah, you got to split the box to do it, but it's still livable at the moment. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, there was a list. I've forgotten most of it as soon as I turn the camera on. Oh yeah, speedo. Might do something about the speedo. We've got to have the back wheel out anyway, so I shall have a look at the drive. yeah, just for the sake of checking it. But unfortunately, the funds set aside for that, I mean, some of it's been absorbed by that thing down there. But I'd left a couple of quid to one side to see about getting that sent off. And unfortunately, it's currently being spent on stopping water leaking out of my bathroom. But, you know, we'll come up with something. Just with the ever-increasing amount of average speed cameras about the country. Flipping, I can't walk around here without bumping into stuff. Yeah, it would be nice to just know what I'm doing. It sort of didn't matter when the average speed cameras were all like motorway stuff and 50 mile an hour or up areas, because, well, it's a Norton Model 50. That's not really a worry, is it? Well, yeah, I know it's like the stretch of the A1 near here. It's 40 mile an hour, has been for a while, and that's all cameraed up. And there's a few bits where they're creeping into lower speed limit areas. Yes, and it's fine when it's busy, because you just, you know, follow the vehicle in front. I know roughly where 30 is and roughly where 40 is, but it'd just be nice for it to be, yeah, for it to be right. Anyway, I think that's enough of me talking rubbish. I'll turn the camera off for a minute, we'll take this thing to bits a little bit, and we'll see what we find. Okay, so the main culprit with the oil's rocker top. I mean, look at the top of that, it's absolutely covered. It's all running down, but I think it's either the second or third time I've used that gasket. We'll maybe give it in nips. I don't know. There's a roll of gasket paper over there somewhere. I might just stamp out another one. I was hoping not to take it off though, because I don't have any more copper washers in that size. I'd have to make another set. But you know, it's the rocker top predominantly, which, you know, is sort of a good thing. It's weeping from a couple of other places, but yeah, mainly the rocker top. I mean, the end of the rocker shafts, they're leaking a tiny bit, but I don't know, we'll do something. Anyway, the battery, it's knackered. There's no parasitic drain. Don't know if I can do everything and hold the camera. Let's turn the ignition on, and we got it. Hold on, there we go. So yeah, it's pulling 4.4 amps. It should actually be pulling a little bit more by my maths, but like I said, this battery's about knackered, so if it's not got it to give, it's not going to give it, is it? Let's turn that off. So yeah, turn the ignition off, and your multimeter falls on the floor, or at least the cables do. Just jam that back in there. Oh, flipping heck. You know, it'd be easier doing this the other way around, because I'm left-handed. Trying to do it with my right hand, I don't know. Anyway, so there we go, that's everything hooked up, and no ampage draw. So, no parasitic drain, which is a good thing, because there's nothing wrong with the bike. It is just the battery. Yeah, let's swap these back over. So yeah, with nothing on the battery, if I stick the probes on, you see it's pretty much flat. 11.5. And if you give me a second, I'll pop them terminals back on, and I'll turn the ignition on, and I'll show you what happens then. Okay, so we saw what, 11.5 volts with everything turned off, and if I turn it back on, as soon as that battery's got some load on it, yeah, it's not clever, is it? I dare say that is knackered. It's no great loss, it's just, you know, it didn't cost me anything, it was just a battery I already had. It's not really big enough for the job, but, you know. So we'll see about getting another battery for it. That might be tomorrow now. But yeah, me old bits of rubber, they keep wandering about, so once I've cleaned the thing up, I'll probably put some, I don't know, some form of adhesive, some kind of stickiness on there to try and keep them in place. Just remembered one of the other things. Put some really nasty, horrible, sticky stuff on my footrest rubbers to hold them on, and they keep coming off. They keep coming off all by themselves, so presumably when I'm pushing them on, the air's not escaping. I could push that on now all the way up to that stop and come back in the morning and it'll be here again. So I think I'm just going to get a little drill and just pop a hole in the end of the rubbers, so as I push them back on, it can release the air and they stay where I put them, in theory. Anyway, right, what was next? I can't remember. Something. Oh yeah, flipping out. So my tank's been chafing. It's chafed there before, so put the tape there to sort of cover it up, in case it did it again, and yeah, it has done it again. Only this time it's chafed through the paint and down to the metal. Yeah, they definitely need sticking in place. Oh, it'd probably help if I had the right rubbers, but you know, we'll just stick these ones in place for now. Anyway, what was next? Yeah, we're still digging out problems at the minute. I'll worry about fixing them when I found them. I'll find all of them. Find as many as I'm willing to look for. Yeah, right. Brake light switch. Got to change that back tyre. Okay. I'll do something. I'll bring you back when I have. Okay, well, I had to go do other things for a while there. But good news, I suppose, sort of good news. These bolts were sort of, a couple of them were alright, but like the little ones at the extremities, they were mega loose, and the rest of them all just needed nipping down, so hopefully that should stem the flow of oil for at least a short while. I now know why the worn out carburettor was acting even worse than usual, and that's because it itself was also shaking its way off. And I had a bit of chuffing going on at the front here, and that exhaust collar had started coming loose. That's now tight again. Check the gearbox oil, that's actually fine. It's still sort of, you know, within the ballpark or where it's meant to be. It's maybe lost a tablespoonful, so I've put a tablespoonful back in. I've made sure the little breather hole, I don't know if you can see that tiny thing. There it is. Yeah, I've made sure that's nice and clear. Yeah, drain plugs are tight, which is a good thing, I suppose. And I've drilled my little hole in the end of this rubber, and that's about where it wants to sit. That's with the metal decked out against this far end. So we'll see what that's like tomorrow. See if it stays there. Now, this side we're sort of, like I said, just pop them in through. Pretty sure the battery's toast. Primary chain tension is okay, but let's see if there's any oil left in the primary. Oh dear. Right, because I've got the bike on a block of wood and it's sitting on its back wheel, it is tilting back, so if it's anywhere near in the ballpark, get the right size spanner would help. There we go. When we take this level plug out, oh, it's a bit stiff. It's getting there. There we go. Look at that. All the proper drain tubs I've got on, I always end up defaulting back to that. For some reason, manufacturers like putting drain plugs next to centre stand, so by the time we get the bulky oil drain in, they tend to miss. Oh, moment of truth. And yeah, that'd explain why it stopped leaking. It's about run out. Right, well, we best find some oil for that, hadn't we? That can be next on the list. Not done this footrest rubber yet because I've had a rummage through my box of bits. Went through my spring box and found a little spring, and my electrical gubbins box, and found a working brake light switch. I think we're sort of going to go, you know, something like that. because of the positioning of this one, I have to run this lever really high. So I have to have the rubber pulled back so it sits on the actual metal peg itself. And as a result, that pedal's high and I have to sit with my foot turned out. Now if it was the other way around, if it was on the other side, it wouldn't be a problem. Because badly broke my right leg a few years ago, and that a lot of years ago, and that foot does turn out slightly naturally now. But this one doesn't, so it's quite uncomfortable. So yeah, if I can rig up a setup for the switch that doesn't require the pedal to be so high. I mean, I could, I suppose, move that tag further down and tack it on, but I don't like that switch anyway, and it's a pain in the arse, it is. Actually, I was having a discussion with someone about crap brake light switches the other day. So yeah, we'll put that one on, and then hopefully we can adjust the lever down a little bit, have that rubber all the way on, and it'll just be a bit nicer to ride. It's something I should have done yonks ago, but it's not exactly been priority. You know, when you can just turn your foot out a bit and everything works fine, that's, you know. But yeah, so slowly getting there. But you maybe see it's a bit dark out there now, and it's a school night. I've got work in the morning, so yeah, I think I'll leave that for now and come back to it tomorrow. So yeah, see you tomorrow. Since we were in here last, just been busy, not managed to get in, but the footrest rubber seems to have stayed put this time as opposed to pushing off, so drilling the hole in the end worked. And I've just made, where have I put it? I've just made a straight bit of metal into a not straight bit of metal with holes in it. Yeah, just a little bit of scrap that I had. Of course, the rear footrest mounts on that one, and it had, oh flipping heck, that little bracket on there somehow with the old brake light switch on. This one. So now this is going to sort of bolt on there like so. Hopefully, I'll tell you what, let's put the camera down. I might be able to use two hands then. Where are we? Yeah, anyway. That'll sort of go on there like that. Presume you can see it. And then replacement brake light switch just pushes in there, and wherever I've put the spring, there we go. Of course, spring will hook in the end. I'll probably just take this tag off the brake rod, and then hook the spring on the pivot. We're not quite lined up, are we? But yeah, so it'll sort of something like that. I presume you can see it on there. I can't tell from here. So yeah, I'll clean this bent bit of metal up a little bit, take some of the marks off I've put from forming it, chuck some paint on it. We've got a new battery filling up. It's about ready for the caps to go on, that one is. Slightly higher ampage than the last one. Yeah, 6.3 amp hour. These are only 4. I knew it's not enough really for what I need, but it's what I had. So yeah, now that's dead, we'll chuck that one on. All should be well. So right, I'll chuck a bit of paint on this, and while it's drying, see about taking the back wheel out and popping a tyre on, which you don't need to see me struggling with levers. So yeah, I'll get on with that. Onward. Okay, right, so there was extra hole drilled in this rim for presumably for a rim lock, which I don't have, so I filled it full of epoxy. Hopefully that'll just stop the tube trying to push through it. The rim tape isn't rim tape, it is just insulation tape, and that's what it's going to get. The wheel's got a rattle, That's why we've got the drum and the sprocket and the bearings and everything out of it. I don't know if we can hear it on the camera. So yeah, presumably something's got in there. Yeah. Obviously I had a look in there first, couldn't see anything, couldn't get anything out, which is why we've got the bearings out. Pretty much knew it wasn't, but it was just to see if the cage was breaking down at all, and yeah, it was a bit of bearing cage making noises. But there is something stuck in that hub I cannot get out. I can't even shake the wheel about really at the minute either till that epoxy's dried properly. Yeah. Don't know what's making that rattle. There's something in there. If it comes to it, I suppose I could take this plate off, but I'd rather not. Might try a bit more fishing in there, see if we can find out. The little hanger that we made for the brake light switch is Arden green, on account of I had some Arden green paint left in the bottom of a can. Yeah, it'd have been nice if it was black, but you know, no black paint left, so it's green. So yeah, we're waiting for that to dry. Try and keep it the right way up. I did go in for my tea and come out and found it had, yeah, the wheel had rolled and spread the epoxy about a bit, so I've got to clean up on top of my spokes here to make sure they don't get stuck, and then find out what that rattle is. Okay, right, onward. Okay, well the tyre's on. That epoxy's not setting properly. I'm wondering if it's just a bit too old. The bit I mixed down there is still a bit, yeah. Hopefully it goes off overnight. Anyway, yeah, tyre's on, and I put it on the bead using my little hand pump. Not because I'm a sadist, but just because I wanted to see if it was up to the job, because, well, if it gets a flat tyre at the side of the road, that's what I've got to use. And yeah, as long as you've got plenty of time and you don't mind a bit of repetitive strain injury, it can do it. Now that rattle or don't know if you could hear that or not. It's not in here. It's inside the blooming rim. Of course there are a couple of holes drilled in it just on the inside, sort of opposite the valve. So yeah, about where the black tape is. That black tape's just holding epoxy back in that centre bit. But yeah, somewhere around here there's a little hole either side. Yeah, presumably just for letting it breathe so it doesn't condensate in there and rot from the inside. So there is a slim possibility something could get in there, and it didn't make that noise before. So yeah, quite what it is or why it's decided to do it, I don't know. But of course the only way to find out for sure is to cut the rims open, and well, you know, that'd just be silly. Might do it when it comes time to replace them just to see. Because, you know, we're not totally opposed to silliness. So yeah, that's done. What else were we doing? Oh, I don't know. Footrest rubber's still there, still not moved. So yeah, drilling the holes in the end to let the air out's obviously worked. So we've nipped that lot down, so hopefully cured a couple of oil leaks. No, I say cured, slowed. As long as it slows, and that'll be fine. We've got a new battery on there, and we've got a new little brake light set up with our Arnhem green bracket as well. Yeah, we had Arnhem green. It's not fastened on properly yet. I've just looped that round. I've not cut the tail off, and I've not put the little washer and split pin in, because I'm quite sure I'm going to have to take this brake rod off at some point for other general messing about. But yeah, that'll be nicer, because it'll allow me to run the brake pedal sort of just below the height of the peg, so I don't have to have my foot tilted out. Now I could have, well, I was riding just on the balls of my feet, or on the ball of that foot, but then you sat wonky because you can't do it on this side on account of there's a kickstart in the way. See, it'll be nice to actually sit straight and square and without a foot stuck out at a jaunty angle. So yeah, that is about everything we needed to do. So now it is just a case of cleaning. That could take some while. Flipping it, you can tell it's getting late. That could take some time, or it could take a while. Who knows? I'll let you choose. Yeah, bit of cleaning. Put some kind of adhesive on this bugger so it stays where I left it. Just the rubber's that old and hard. You can't pull it down tight enough to grip the frame properly. Could buy some new rubber, but you know. So yeah, really it is just cleaning and reassembling now, and I'm sure you can imagine what that lot looks like. You don't need to see me do that again. So yeah, as it's getting late and I want to get this done because I want to go out on it tomorrow, we're going to call that quits on this one. Oh, one more thing. I have bought a bit of bronze at last, so hopefully we can make some guides for that head. And I forgot to buy the bronze to make those out of, or the steel to make those out of, but still, we're on the right path. We've got a bit of bronze to make some guides. It's what is it? 660 leaded bronze. Yeah. So yeah, should be good for the job. But anyway, right, I'll stop waffling. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully we'll get back to making bits soon, as opposed to just, you know, patching up and cleaning and whatnot. Alright, see you in the next one. Ta-da.